This is the closing market report for Thursday on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. On the phone right now with Bill Moore of Price Futures Group as we wrap up another day in the ag marketplace. Bill, what have we seen going on in the grain and livestock markets today?
Well, the market's kind of chopping around. Word out of the Iran war is now there's a second round of peace talks scheduled for in the next few days. The hopes that we'll have some resolution there. The ceasefire is still in place. Hopefully that gets extended. And the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz is still in effect. The U.S. is hopeful that'll put economic pressure on Iran to have a peaceful settlement to this war that I don't think anybody wants right now. I'm not sure how many people want it in the first place. Nonetheless, hopefully it gets resolved. So the market's just kind of back and forth on that. Yesterday, the markets were up because Trump put a post out on his Truth Social that he thought China would be very happy with the Straits of Hormuz reopening and that they're not going to supply military aid to Iran. The market liked that and rallied. Today, it's backtracking a little bit, down 3 in the corn, 3 in the beans, but up 4 in the wheat. Wheat's mostly higher on the dryness. The Kansas City wheat is really higher, up 14. At one time today, it was up 25. Speaking of the drought in the winter wheat area, that's an issue for the wheat. It's helped rally it the last few days. Even today, it's up with corn and beans down. $64 question is, will that extend to corn and beans with an El Nino type effect? And it would be very bullish to the markets. It remains to be seen how the weather's going to play out. But it's already there, and if it spreads, that sure will impact corn and bean prices. The other another factor is fertilizer and fuel prices being very high. The impact of that, of course, is that these acres could change dramatically from what they were announced on March 31st. Corn acres should go to beans. They could plant less corn because they don't want to spend the money in fertilizer and the extra fuel. And the people that plant could use less fertilizer. That could mean less yield, which ultimately means less production. So we'll see how that plays out. Exports have been excellent as far as the beans go. With the Wednesday biodiesel numbers are always near record levels, and the exports twice a week are very good. Today we had export inspections, corn 1.45 million metric tons. That's over last week's 1.3. So week after week they are exceptionally good. The U.S. dollar is a big beneficiary of the of this war. Maybe winding down today. The dollar is up 20, but still, if you look at a weekly chart, daily chart of the U.S. dollar, it's come off its highs that were made back in early April or late March. 250 points is very favorable to grain export. That's the latest in the grains today. Hopefully the war winds down. Energies are up a little. Stock market's unchanged. Stock market made records yesterday in S&P and the NASDAQ, confident that the war is winding down. So hopefully that would be the case. Livestock-wise, we're looking at correction today. The market, take the cattle market, is down. June cattle down $3.50. Pretty good jolt today. The market was way overbought first 3 days of this week, and it's corrected pretty hard today. Could be that demand is prices getting a little high for demand. We'll see what happens. Other theories on the cattle is that they're opening the Mexican border. Maybe that's a reason for it, or also the government just intervening to bring prices down. So those are reasons the cattle could correct. It's been a bullish juggernaut since early March, running up $25, almost unabated since then. But it is at record high levels. Pork is pretty cheap very cheap compared to the cattle. It could be some demand shift in there. Although the pork is still lower today, even with the cattle down, the pork is down about 20 points. It's pretty amazing. The June cattle, for the most part, is making new highs every day. Not today, but most days in the last week or so. Whereas the June hog market is hovering just over the lows for the week. So that's an interesting action. Usually they move in lockstep, but since the beginning of March, hogs have gone down $10 or $11, while the cattle has gone up 25. So that's quite a dichotomy there.
All right, Bill, lots of great information today. For anybody who would like to get in touch for more marketing information and check out your newsletter, how can they do that?
630-947-5176, wmore@pricegroup.com. Check out my newsletter, Agmaster, or www.pricegroup.com, the company website. Look at the bios of Jack Scoville and myself. We've both been here a long time. We'd love to help you out.
That again was Bill Moore of Price Futures Group. We'll look at the numbers next.
In rural Iowa, you need reliable information. The Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network brings you ag-specific content like market trends, weather outlooks, and policy updates that matter to your operation, while your local station brings you community news and consistent updates on what is happening in your area. It's a partnership built for the challenges of rural life. Your farm, your local station, and your friends at the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, where Iowa Ag matters. Find us online at iowaagnet.com.
At the close, May corn down 2 3/4 at 448 1/2. December new crop down 1 1/4 at 476 3/4. May soybeans down 3 1/4 at 1163 3/4. November new crop up 1 1/2 at 1156 even. May soybean meal down $1.70 at 332.70. May soybean oil up $1.73 at 69.33. Chicago wheat up 4 3/4 at 598 1/2. Minneapolis spring wheat up 12 1/4 at 651 3/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat up 17 1/4 at 642 3/4. May oats up 1/4 cent at 346 even. On the Merc, June live cattle down 345 at 247.62. May feeder cattle down 385 at 367.10. May lean hogs down 2 cents at 94.05. May pork cutout went unchanged at 108.77. And May Class 3 milk down 30 cents at 17.06. That's been a check of the closing market prices. Thanks again to Bill Moore of Price Futures Group for joining us today here on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, where Iowa Ag matters. I'm Riley Smith.